Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending yet, folks. It's man all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Bodybuilding Talk. I know usually female bodybuilding talk, but we don't have a female today, guys. I know you guys, you're looking for the ladies, but you know what? My channel is about giving opportunity to anybody who wants to share their story and their path in bodybuilding. And I'm open to guys. I had guys out here before, not as often, but particularly, their stories are very interesting, especially how, as a man, to train and develop and build muscle. It's a lot harder. It's way harder, I think, for compared to women, just about because of the different levels. But we often want to recognize anybody who has a passion about it. We have here a gentleman here. I had the pleasure of interviewing his lovely wife last year, who turned pro also. We have the Mr. John Fricchione, new IFBB Men's Open Pro overall winner. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Long time in the making, but we got it.
Yeah. So, John boy, can I ask you, what got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Appreciate it.
It started, I was always training as a young kid. My dad got me into working out. Some people may not remember the old Solo Flex machine from back in the 80s. And my dad had bought one of those, and he, myself, and my brother were using it. And he was teaching us how to work out, and he had some dumbbells and whatnot. And it wasn't until I was about 13 or so, 13, 14 at the max, I was out to a lunch with my family. It was like a birthday lunch for a friend of the family. And when I went into the bathroom, there was some muscle magazines in the bathroom. And on top of those magazines, one of them had Lee Haney and the other one had Rich Gaspari. And I ended up picking up the magazines and looking at them and reading the magazines and looking at the pictures. I believe they were both Muscle and Fitness. And from that point on, I wanted to look like them. And those two guys were my idol, especially Lee Haney, who I've actually become friends with over the last several years, believe it or not. So at that point, I was going through the magazines, and any chance I got to go with my mother to the supermarket, believe it, to ride along with her, because if I went with her to help her, I'd get a magazine. And in the back of those magazines at that time, they had workouts. So you could tear out the workout, hang it on the wall like a poster. And I started changing the workouts around from what my father was doing with us on the old Solo Flex machine. And I was making workouts like the bodybuilders would do. And for about 2 years, I built a nice little physique on myself in the basement on this machine with some minimal free weights. And that's what got me fired up and started into the world of bodybuilding. I was hooked. I was learning about diets and how to train and whatnot. And then when I was about 15, there was a local gym near our home, and I went and I called Unique Physique in Long Island, where I used to live. And my father had to come sign me in because I was too young to join and get a membership. And at that gym is where I learned everything about training and bodybuilding, because I became everybody's little kid brother in that gym. And then fast forward to when I was 16 years old, I did my first contest at 16 years old. And then I've been off and running from there with, quite a bunch of hiccups along the way and life changes along the way. But here we are now after all this time.
Yeah, I can tell you, I've been a fan of bodybuilding since I was a kid too. My older brother used to use the muscle mags. He used to play football here in our hometown. Yeah. I used to remember guys like Rich Gaspari, Lee Haney, Tom Plaza. This is a theory you agree with me. I believe Tom Plaza was the blueprint for He-Man.
He might have been. Yeah, he looks like him.
It's just a theory I always had about him.
Yeah.
It's just to admire how those guys build their bodies. But then I get into my pubescent ages, and then the women came my attention. But that's good that your father got you started, you and your brother.
Yeah.
We used to work out with my brother when we were younger. I remember Solar Flex commercials. He used to come on usually in between sport games or after a movie or something. I don't think they still make those anymore, or they.
Solo Flex, I believe, has evolved into the Bowflex that you see now over the last 30 plus years. I believe the Bowflex is still around. I don't have one, but I believe that's still around. Yeah. But the Soloflex is what got me started, believe it or not. It was a fine machine. Had a lot of attachments. We had them all. And it was a fine machine to get started with as a nice foundation, and it worked for me. And then I just outgrew it for what I was looking to do. And that's when I joined my first gym. And from that point on, I was off to the races for a while.
Mm-hmm. So what was that experience like for you, especially growing up, getting to bodybuilding, saw people like Rich and Lee and, as a person yourself being just admired by this sport? What do you feel like it's changed over the years, in your personal opinion?
Well, I think a lot of people's opinions of the sport has changed over the years, and the way people diet and the way people train. I come from the old school era, the 80s and mid to late 80s, early 90s, where everything was basic, not to knock anything or anybody, but I think people complicate it a lot now. There's only so many ways you can diet and change chicken and rice around, and but everybody has a different idea and a different way of doing it. But back then when I started, it was a little bit more simplified. You trained harder for longer periods of time. Volume was a big thing. And, but like I said, things evolve and different things work better for other people. But I'm still the old school mentality. I'm a volume trainer. I still diet on the mentality that was taught to me by some of my mentors, that if it tastes good, you shouldn't eat it. And I still live by that today. I'm more of a hardcore trainer and hardcore dieter, but that's just the way that I was brought up and the way that I learned. Not saying that it's right, but that's just how I do it, and that's how I was taught. And those are the principles that I follow, even with my clients, because I do personal training. I started that back up again after a lot of years. I've been doing it for a few years now, and whatnot. And I'm a fan of lifting weights and pushing the envelope within reason that way. So, I like to stick to the old school way of doing things. It works for me.
Yeah, I think with a lot of people now, they try to find things that work for them in their process as a bodybuilder. And yeah, the classics are the best. Sometimes they work, but everybody has the different, practices that help them. How to grow, how you diet. And one thing with bodybuilding is always going to get this one thing that it's going to be picked on about is the use of performance enhancers. And often, if I've had discussions with other people saying that that's only a small percentage, because if you're not consistent, you're not persistent, you don't follow your diet and your regimen, then you're just not going to look like what you're going to think you're going to look like on the stage.
Yeah, I mean that's not that's not the miracle of anything by any means. It's consistency. It's training hard. It's dieting hard. Anything supplement wise, PED or not, isn't going to make somebody a professional bodybuilder. So yeah, that's definitely I think on the lower end of the totem pole. It's training hard, dieting hard, keeping with your plan and whatnot. That's the most important things in that order, in my opinion. Diet, training, cardio, and then supplementation gets mixed in there a little bit too. But yeah, it's just everybody has their own way of doing it. What works for you. I stick to what I do only because I'm on the upper end of the age totem pole. So for me to change anything up, I wouldn't want to risk that right now. I've been doing the same thing forever, and it works. So I just stay with what I know and what I like to do. And for me to start changing things and trying different aspects of training or diet, I don't want to risk something not working for me. Meanwhile, something has been for so long.
Yeah, I can understand. I'm in that upper age group too. Your body can't do like you used to. You can't bounce back up when you're like in your 20s. Sometimes you wake up, you feel like what's this cracking? You just wait a minute. And what your first competition? What was that experience, and what was that like for you?
That was really good. If I remember correctly, I took second place in my first competition. I was 16 years old, so that was around 1991. It was a local show in my not close to my hometown. And back then, you would find the list of contests in the back of a muscle magazine, and then you would call, because there wasn't email or internet back then. And then they would send you an application to fill out, and then you mail a check, and that's how you signed up for a show back then. So I did one show when I was 16, and then I came back and did the same show a year later and won it. And then I did every year for the next 4 or 5 years thereafter. I did 3 or 4 shows a year until I had to take a break. But yeah, I did the Teen Nationals in 1994. I took 6th place. And then the following year, I was 20 years old in 1995. I did a few shows, which I did very well in the men's open. I was the youngest guy at 20 years old, but I did very well. And then I actually qualified for the USA back in 1995. And then when I was training for that the following year, I ended up getting injured at work. I fell off a ladder and broke my jaw. So that took me out of the contest. And then I was getting married at that time anyway. So as soon as I got healed from the broken jaw, my mouth was wired shut for a very long time. I got married, and then we bought a house, my wife and I, and we decided that we were going to, start a family. And I still wanted to bodybuild. I still wanted to get back into competing again, even though at that time I would have had to have requalified for a pro qualifying show. So we had a baby, and my wife said, go ahead, get back into going. And a few weeks into training and getting myself back up to speed, I just lost the eye of the tiger, because I had, a house I just bought. I had a new wife. I have a new baby, and I just felt I needed to be home. And I just couldn't see myself going to the gym for the length of time it would need me to compete. It's a different story to go to the gym to train, to stay in shape, as it is to competing. I just didn't have it in me at that time. So I didn't have any money back then, or much of it. So I took a credit card I had, and I went to a local fitness place, and I bought as much equipment as I could from my home. This way I could still train. I never wanted to stop training. I always lived the lifestyle to an extent, just because it's who I am. That's how I was brought up as a 13-year-old kid. So I put some weights in my house, so every day I could work out and feel good, and because I didn't want to throw it away. So I had my son in a playpen. He watched me work out, and it felt good, at least, that I was still training. But I still never lost that desire in the back of my head that I wanted to compete again. So fast forward a few more years, my son, back now up to 2008, saw a picture of me. Because what I did was I got rid of everything, every picture, every trophy, every medal. So I didn't see it. I didn't want to be enticed to get back into it when I was, raising my kids and all. And my older son said, Dad, that was a picture of you I saw. Can you do that again? I was like, I don't know. So it kind of lit the fire back up. So in 2008, I started training. My kids were a little bit older now. So I was going to the gym very early in the morning, training at home, doing what I could do. And I had my eye on doing something again as far as a contest goes. And in 2009, I got into a car accident. And in that car accident, my back got damaged really bad. So from 2009 to 2014, I tried every procedure and injection that was available at that time to heal my back. I had some blown out discs in my back, and nothing worked. So I was living in a tremendous amount of pain. And prior to that, I already had 3 knee surgeries. So now, my back is damaged. So I figured, well, bodybuilding is going to be out forever now. I've been wasting more years trying to get it fixed. So I finally went back to my surgeon, and I said, listen, I got to get my back fixed. I can't function, So I had a 3-level fusion done. And after the surgery, I felt great. Like my back, a lot of the pain was gone, and I felt really good. So my doctor had encouraged me to get, to continue to train, because I needed to build the muscles around my back and all those parts that were in my back. So while doing so, I started to feel good, and everything was coming back again. Like my strength was coming back, my body was coming back again, which was odd, for me, at that time. So it wasn't until a year later, I said to my wife, I said, I think I'm going to try and do a show just to see if I can handle a diet, and if I can hang again and do it. So 2017, I got on stage after 22 years of not being on the stage. and I won a local show here in Virginia where I live. I was only 196 pounds, but that was my first time back after so long. And I won, so I got the bug. I got bit by the bug again, so I wanted to do another show. So 3 months later, I did another one. And I was about 15 pounds heavier in that 3 months' time. And my body started, coming back around, and everything started looking good. And I ended up taking second place in that show. And from that point on, I just, went running and never stopped. I've done over 22 shows since, most of which have been pro qualifying shows. And, in 2017, I hired Dave Palumbo to be my diet and contest prep guy. I knew him for many years from our New York days. And he came on board and was dieting me, and I still kept improving, so I didn't stop. And my placings were, high at the time. They were 6th, 7th, 8th for a few years at the national, at the pro qualifying level, the universe, nationals, and whatnot. But I was still getting better, so I figured, well, if I'm getting better, I'm going to keep going, and that's what I did. I kept going, and then finally this year. We got it, So last year I had a lot of second places. I did 4 shows last year. I dieted for over 40 weeks, which was a very long period of time to be on a contest prep diet. But I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to doing what I want to do. I just wanted to keep on going because I knew I would get it. But we got close. I did the Universe, the Nationals, the North American. Then I flew out to California and did the USA. And everything was second and thirds. So after November, we shut it down for a couple of months, and then we got back on the plan to compete here at the Nationals, which I just did last week. And then we finally got it there. I competed in 3 divisions, the 50 and over, the 40 and over heavyweights, and the 35 and over. And I ended up, after I won the 50 and over overall, and I got my pro card, I decided to back out of the other classes because I got word that I won all of them. And I figured, well, you know what? I'm not going to be greedy. I don't need 3 pro cards. So I talked to some of the people at the contest, and I said, listen, I think I'm going to back out, and I'll let somebody else win. I've taken second place for many years, and I wanted to pay it forward. So I backed out of the other classes and let the second place guys get it and get their pro card, So that's what we did there, and now we're training for the. My wife and I are both going to be competing in about 5 weeks at the Masters Pro World, August 31st together. Her in women's physique and me in men's bodybuilding, and we'll see what happens there. We're going to be doing another round together.
Well, again, congratulations, sir. I mean, you went through hell and high water. You remember old TV show called Hee Haw, where it goes, guilt, despair, and agony on me. If it weren't for bad luck, I had no luck at all. You went through a lot between falling, hurting your jaw, getting the wreck. I had a friend of mine. He's an IFBB pro bodybuilder. He just went through stuff. He just had surgery to move his gallbladder. And, it's a lot, especially responsibilities of having family and taking care of children and a wife. And it's good that she was in your corner. She was like, how the best way to say that? You said, your lifestyle is tiger. How Rock? And then you said, what are you going to do, Rock? He said, I don't have it anymore. But then you had it one more time. You went on that other time, Rock. You in the ring and you won. So you should try yourself.
Yeah, what happened was we'll rewind a little bit. And a few years ago, my wife was like, all right, enough is enough. Maybe you should stop competing and whatnot. And so I said, well, I don't want to stop. So what could I do to continue where at least she's on board? So I convinced her to compete. I said, let me train you. Let me diet you. And, you got great genetics. So I figured that if I got her to compete, then I can keep on going and not get in any trouble. Well, she did her first show and she won her first show in women's physique. And then she got bit by the bug. So now she's wanting to do a few more. And within 3 years, believe it or not, she turned pro, in women's physique. And she even won a couple of classes in women's bodybuilding at the North American last year. But she turned pro in women's physique. So by me trying to get her to come on board so I can continue, she goes ahead and turns pro before I did, which was pretty cool.
That's good because you influenced her, and I think you really wanted to live through your experience through her. And I think bodybuilding is competition I had with quite a few couples. It's very infectious. You start off one person going one way and you go the other way. And also there's that side part about both of y'all now on prep together.
We get along great, so we don't have any issues there. A lot of people do ask us, how do both of you prep at the same time? And because I know that's I guess a problem for two people prepping in the house, who's moody, who's angry, who's pissed off, what have you. But we do everything together. We train together, we eat together. Now we're competing together. So for us, we actually it's not a problem at all. I mean, I'm not going to say we don't have our moments, but if we do, it's very minimal. But no, we're good together. So we enjoy the process together. We love seeing how each other evolves. She's always there to support me. Because on top of my back surgeries, I also had, while I was competing recently, I've had a shoulder reconstruction. I've had 2 bicep tendon tears and a pec tear and a hernia, all during my last few years of competing. And I still never stopped, but nothing was ever caused by training. It was always freak accidents that caused the issues. So, my back surgery or 3 knee surgeries would have been enough for somebody to stop. But I've had a number of surgeries in the last few years, and I still came back from every single one of them to get back on the stage, and not only get back on the stage, but get back on the stage improved from the year before, and I have a lot to owe to her for that, because she's always got my back. She takes care of everything, so together we make a great team, we make a great team, and now we'll see how far we can take this pro thing, Well,
that's great that she stands for you, what you've been through, up and down, the surgeries. And it's good that you got a wife that supports you, because, as I said, John, your wife, she is beautiful.
She is.
And it's good. Folks, I'm going to do this. I'm going to play a video, and it is from his interview post-winning the show. So you want to check it out. It's on NPC News Online. I can read the link later. You can watch it if you want to watch it. But we'll watch this, and it's just great how he really talks about himself, his family, and his support. And how this is why I do this stuff, because I always want to research and find a little stuff about somebody. So here we go, play the video here. Read this from his interview. So y'all listen.
50 and over, overall champion, John Fricchione.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. How long have you been training, and how does it feel winning your pro card today?
Well, I've been training my whole life. I had a long break, 22-year break, until 2017 when I came back, just to see if I could try it and see if I could hang. And I haven't stopped since. I got the bug again. So, I've been doing it for a long time. It's a long time coming. But to win it is just like, it's surreal. It's everything at the moment, I worked so hard, so long, had so many second places, so many near misses, and now we finally got it. So I'm really happy.
How many national shows have you done?
At least a half a dozen or so. Yeah, so we've been trying for a while, and we finally nailed it. I owe a lot to my coach, Dave Palumbo, and Kenny Wallach for helping me train, and my wife Sharon, who's done everything for me and is my inspiration and helps me with everything, and who's also a pro. And she'll be here at the Masters Pro World. Now I'll be with her competing, and we train together, we diet together, and she deserves a lot of this for everything she's done to get me here.
So he took my next question, which was going to be, what's next? And I'm guessing next month?
Oh, we're not stopping. We'll be here at the Masters Pro, and we'll see where we go from there.
Hey, the train keeps rolling, right?
Hey, as long as I'm improving, I'm not stopping.
100%.
I got the best team behind me, so we're going to keep rolling.
Sounds good. All right, anybody else you want to thank?
My kids for always being there for me, but my wife is the main thing, and my coach Dave Palumbo. He's been with me for a long time. He's not only my coach, but my dear friend, and I'm lucky to have him. And Kenny also supporting me too. So, I got a good team behind me.
A good coach is one thing, but a good wife?
My wife is the best. She's everything.
That's all we need.
That's it.
All right, Josh with NPC News Online.
John Fricchione.
All right.
That's so beautiful, John. I'm right here. I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying to tell myself, man up, man up, man up, just man up, just take a beat, just man up. But it's just so beautiful how I can hear it in your voice, how you were feeling that day, with people like Dave Jumbo Palumbo, who's a legend. A friend of mine, also Big Keith, knew him too. He worked with a few times. Guys like Kenny Wallach, one of the top posing coaches. your lovely wife, those people stand in your corner. And that's important, especially for bodybuilding, to have that support, because bodybuilding is outside people outside look at it, it's a solo sport, but it takes a team to develop and grow as a bodybuilder.
Yeah. I mean, you can have everybody tell you what to do all day long. At the end of the day, you still got to be able to do it. Nobody's really there holding your hand. I mean, granted, I have my wife with me all the time who competes, so we're always making sure each other is on point and, not missing a meal, not missing training sessions, this, that, the other. But yeah, I mean, to have a good team, chirping in your ear is big, and they travel with us too. Kenny Wallach and Dave Palumbo, they come with us to the shows. I like to have everybody there. It makes me feel better, makes me feel more comfortable, especially with my wife competing too. I like to make sure that there's, enough support, because if we're both competing at the same time, each of us can't give the other 100% of each other because we're also competing. So it's nice to have our team there with us. And it makes just for a good few days competing. So, we take everybody with us when we go.
Mm-hmm. And, do your kids come? When the last time have your kids have come see your show?
The last time they came was, I think in 2023, we did a local show up in DC, a Gary Udit show, the DC Pro-Am. And we did that as a warm-up show for the Universe and the Nationals, just because it's a fairly local show for us that our kids could come and see us. So our kids are older. They all have their lives going on and whatnot. So, that was the last opportunity that they came because it was close. Now, in order for them to come, travel with us on the shows, that's going to be a little bit more difficult for them. Like I said, they all got their own lives going on now. So, I'm sure they'll come at some point again, depending on how many more we do. But they stream it. They watch every show, they stream them. So they're there and they're texting and calling constantly, which is nice, but mainly it's my wife and I, Dave and Kenny. And then of course all of our friends in the bodybuilding community that we have. So that's kind of how the weekend works when we're traveling.
Well, that's great. And children, we support our parents. My parents were together 55 years, even though my dad lived in New Jersey and my mom was still here in North Carolina with us. But it's good that they're there. Recently, that your oldest boy, he got married, so he's a married man now.
Yeah, he got married a couple of weeks ago. 2 weeks out from the Nationals, he got married, and that was a wonderful time. Yeah, so he's a great boy. We have a great new daughter-in-law with him and her, and he's going to be a physician's assistant here shortly. He's currently a fireman and a paramedic, and now he's going to go finish his so-called residency for a physician school for the next couple of years. And then my daughter has a baby. She's raising her son, our grandson. And our youngest, who's 21, he's studying aerospace engineering in college. So, they're all doing great. Wonderful kids. We're very lucky that we have, great kids. And the five of us are very close. And our grandson, he's very special to us. So, we got a nice little family over here.
Yeah, I see. He's just a cute little boy. If I saw you two in public, you sharing the boy, I was thinking, oh, you got a cute little son. Say, no, it's our grandson. I'm like,
a lot of people think, they're surprised to hear when we tell them we have a grandbaby. So
look at you up and down. Say, wait a minute, I can understand. My mother, I got a nephew. He's only 2 years. My father had a son. He has sons that's older than me, and I got a nephew. We're just a couple years apart. I understand when you grew up like that and you got close in bond, and that's good. And for your son, I would say to him, thank you for his service and what he's committed to doing. It's tough work being in the medical field and also being a firefighter. So, folks, what we're going to do while we got John here, we're going to jump into social media. We're going to look at some things, and also we want to talk about his business. He has a business, where he says he's a personal trainer. Also, him and his wife have a business together. So, if you want to follow the link in the description of this live, check it out. But guys, I say this for the ladies. I also say it for the guys too, because there's guys out there. Guys, no weird stuff. This is a man. He has a wife. He got kids. Got a cute little grandbaby. Don't do it. Just come on. Be respectful. So we're jumping here into his IG in a minute. And here he is. We can see here with his lovely wife. And like I said again, she is beautiful. How long y'all two been together now?
We've been together coming up 30 years, actually. We just were together 30 years recently. We've been married coming up on 28. October will be 28 years married. And just a couple of days ago was 30 years together.
That's good. I mean, that's good. I know quite a few people been together for a long time and stick together, and y'all share this passion for bodybuilding, and also the work regimen of being a bodybuilder, and also trying to be a family man and having a career. As you mentioned earlier, you were talking about your new product. It is called Fit Series 33, right?
Yep, Fit Series 33 supplements. We for a couple of years were putting together and developing a line of products that we're very, very happy about, and we stand behind high quality products. So yeah, it was a long time in the making. It was an idea for a while. We started it, we stopped it, and then for the last 2 years we finished it, completed it, and now it's up and running. And we've been moving some protein and some pre-workouts and whatnot. And yeah, we have a really nice line of products. Anybody that has tried them already or has purchased from us always sends us a message on how good and clean and, especially the taste, how good everything tastes, all natural products. So yeah, we're really proud of what we've done and what we've created with these products, actually.
Yeah. Where you get the idea for the name from?
Well, the 33 stands for Jesus. My wife and I are both faith-based people, and Jesus, he died for us at 33 years old. And, the theory is when we all go to heaven, we come back at around 33. So we figured why not, incorporate that into our product line and go more of a faith-based story behind it. And that's what we did. We try to keep it neat and clean and friendly for everybody. And it's, like I said, it's just something that we believe a lot in. And, we take our faith and we put it into the products.
And it's good to have that faith, because, that's one thing about this sport. It can be so much on the mind and the body. And faith
Yes.
is very important. I'm not very religious, but I grew up in a home where we went to church and we believed. And also, I have more faith than I do have religion. Now, here he is, as you know, he turned pro, and here he's standing with his team. We have Dave Palumbo on your left here, right? Actually, you have your wife there. You have Mr. J.M. Jim Mannion, not J.M. Jim, and also the legendary Kenny Wallach. And how long you been working with Kenny? Because that's a legend. I know quite a few ladies who have worked with him.
Kenny. I've been working with him for 2 years. He's been 2 years helping me perfect my posing. He's now working with my wife also to help perfect hers. Presentation is everything. You can look the best, but if you don't present it well, then the judges aren't going to see that. So it's always good to have somebody that knows what they're doing. And Kenny's he's the best when it comes to presenting our bodies, whether we're men or women. He's about the best there is. So we're lucky to have him, and now he's become a dear friend. Of course, Dave is more like family with us now. And Jim got in the picture with us. He was really happy with my journey all these years, finally getting it. And we had a nice long conversation about, me backing out and offering my other pro cards to other people, which he thought was very gracious. So we had a nice long conversation, he and I, which was thrilling to me because, he's the godfather of the NPC and the IFBB. So to have him hang out with us and get in some pictures was really nice.
Yeah, as you say, yes, he is the godfather. His son JM is probably one of the well-known photographers, and his grandson Tyler is up and coming. He's the heir apparent. Not too much a big fan of some of his comments and some things he said, but he's wet behind. Like, remember old TV show Martin Lawrence? He's wet behind the ears and breath smell like Similac. But he gotta know this stuff. And here's your lovely wife here with the legendary Chris. Come here. Wow, she gets nice legs.
And we're going to be working with him also on some posing routines to perfect our routine. So he's another one that's coming into into our team too. We became very friendly with him. So he's going to be joining us here in the next couple of weeks to help guide us with our final routines for the finals. So we'll be working with him a little bit also.
Yeah, and I see you, Dave. This is Chris Alcione. He was married to Laura Corvell back in the day. That's her ex-husband, and his son. He just turned pro. young man. Congratulations to him. I mean, following the footsteps of his father, who also competed for a good bit, and also was, I think, one of the top guys in the sport. It's not as a competitor, but as someone who really understands the factors of growing and developing as a bodybuilder. Now, at the show, what was the critique from the judges? What did they tell that you needed to, the things you need to work on in your best feature, in your opinion?
Well, to be honest with you, this round, I didn't get any negative feedback at all. I've gotten feedback in the past, last year from my other shows, but this year there wasn't. I didn't get any feedback negative at all. Which is a good thing, I guess. I guess I came in good enough where they didn't have to, critique me. But in my opinion, there's always room for improvement, no matter what. No matter how good you look, at least I feel that way. No matter how good you look, no matter how dialed in you are, you could always be better. So for me, it's just continuing to balance everything out, which I did this year. I came down in weight a little bit to balance out my legs and my upper body, so they were a little bit more in line and symmetrical together. So that's kind of what I worked on for this year. And, they were pleased enough. And, like I said, I didn't not only win my class, I swept them all. So I think I did what was asked of me for the last couple of years. I think I did, with getting everything balanced out a little bit better than it was. But I'm going to continue working on that. I only have about 5 weeks to go for the next one. But, like I said, there's always room for improvement. So we just stick to the plan, stick to the diet, stick to the training, and, stay faithful and believe in yourself. And my package will be just as good, if not better, come 5 weeks at pro debut.
Well, I got to create this picture here. Your beautiful wife and that beautiful baby. I would say I see Mr. Olympia 2056.
It's funny. My daughter was streaming the contest. She had it on her big screen TV at her house. And she said my grandson was standing in front of the TV going through the poses that I was doing on TV. So, that was pretty cool. He lived with us for a while, and he spent a lot of time in our gym at our home. We have a pretty extensive home gym here, and he knows his way around it very, very well. And he knows how to play with the machines a little bit. So at his young age, he already has an idea of how it all works, which is cool, and he loves watching his Mia and his Pop train and whatnot. He really digs it.
Well, I know here's your wife dancing with your boy, her firstborn, her baby. I bet you're a big man like you, John. I know you'll cry. You're crying like a baby watching your boy getting married.
I'm not going to lie. I shed some tears that day, No matter how old they get, they're still your babies.
Yeah, yes, I know. I never had children of my own, but I did help, with my nieces and nephews and their raising. And my mom, she had to raise us kids. And, children are a piece of us. They're the thing that we put out into the world that represents us as people, as we grow and evolve. And to see what your son doing, both your sons, your daughter, your grandbabies, the future, man, you should be proud of yourself. You should be.
Oh yeah. I owe that a lot to my wife. She, I worked an awful lot over all the years, and, I did what I had to do so she can raise the kids, and my kids adore her. She's done everything for them. She still does everything for them, So, we're all very close, which is nice. And, she did a wonderful job raising them all.
Yeah. Is she around? Sharon, is she around? Is she out about?
She's nearby. I'll get her to come over and say hello.
Come in for a bit. Let's see the lovely Mrs. Fricchione, and how she's been doing, Hello, Sharon.
Hey, how are you?
Well, I saw you dancing with your boy. I bet you were crying like my baby. Don't be jealous of the other woman. Don't be jealous of the other woman. Come on, you got yourself a man. Let him have his woman, have his life. Okay.
Oh, I love her. She's perfect. Perfect.
What was that feeling like for you? Seeing what he's been through, and you standing behind him, seeing him finally get that opportunity now call himself an IFBB pro for your prospect.
It's the best feeling ever. I'm so proud of him. He's worked so hard for it and is so deserving of it. Not only does he run a business and manage the whole entire thing, We also do the Fit Series 33, so that's another job. And on top of personal training and everything at home and working out, competing and everything, he does a lot. He works really hard and he masters everything. So it's definitely a proud moment. So happy for him.
I mean, again, y'all make me want to cry. No, I can't do it. I can't someone's like, stop it. Don't you cry. Don't be a sissy. Be a man. We don't have a plan now. I'm sorry. I'm emotional. This is just great journey. And y'all doing the upcoming World Master Championships. Y'all feel like, which classes y'all doing? Y'all just do 50, or you can do 40 plus and go.
Yeah, we're going to do both classes, both of us. Yeah, the 40 plus and 50 plus in both of our divisions. Men's heavyweight for me and women's physique for her. So we're going to do both and see what happens. And then after that, we're going to take a long deserving break. And then 2026 will be the next round for us.
All right, yeah, take that break, and if you win in the 40 plus, then you can do Master Olympia in 2027. I mean, one thing I'm wishing they should do it, because there's more master shows here in the States than in other places. I know we're gonna have Japan, because I know some ladies who compete over there in Japan in a couple of weeks. I wish I think it'd be better here in the States where there's more opportunities for it. I think a good place we have it would be we used to have the Olympia during the pandemic, was in Orlando, and I think a lot of competitors would love to do a Masters Olympia here in the States. Yeah, well, you never know. I don't know where it is after this year. After Tokyo, I don't know where the next one is, but I mean that's definitely crossed our minds. I mean, I think both of us have the potential to do it. The desire is there, the want is there, but let's just see what happens, one step at a time. We got 5 weeks for the next one, and then we'll see what happens after that. But it would be nice to be able to get on that stage for sure. Yeah, and what the thing is, also I talk about bodybuilding. It's not very lucrative. It's a good thing y'all have a business that's put together, and y'all are in a position to compete. But one thing I often say for you guys in the Banana Hampton boy shorts, it costs y'all, but if with sharing y'all ladies, it costs y'all a lot more, and it's good that y'all two are working together to help each other in this process as athletes, as husband and wife. You train her, and you train other people too. How long have you been a professional coach? Professional trainer? I started personal training about 3-4 years ago. I got certified by Lee Haney under his group for nutrition and personal training. I used to do it many years ago. I studied it in school. But life took me in a different direction for a while. So now I'm doing what I want to do. And over the last few years, I started the training again. So I have several clients that I train on regularly that come to the house, because, like I said, I have an elaborate home gym here, and which is a nice setting for people because it's private. And I'm going to build that a little bit more as well. I like helping people. I like training people. It's fun. Sure. You think about becoming a trainer yourself? Because I think you mentioned it the last time we did an interview.
Well, I'm thinking about it. We'll see down the road. Right now, I want to focus on the supplement line. I do help out some friends working out, but we'll see.
Like I said, I think everybody finds the thing that works for them best, and I think John, that's his thing. He's going to be the face, even though Sharon, yours prettier, but he's going to be the face of the business. And it's good that y'all two come together. So we're not going to hold it too long, because this is about you, John. We don't want to be too distracted by Sharon, but we do appreciate your time, ma'am. And again, to carry you as often as I say, you are beautiful. No offense to you, John. You're kind of handsome, but I don't go that way. But thank you for coming through. So anyway, so now the plan is doing the Masters Championship. Yes. And then next year, taking the year off. Well, no, I'm not going to take the year off. I'm going to compete in 2026. So after August 31st, that's when the show is for the Masters Pro. Then I'll have a good off season. See, last year I didn't have a good off season. I had I should say I have a short off season because I competed. I was dieting since February,
the end of February, I started dieting, and then I competed up until November. So I did the Universe, and then 2 weeks later was the Nationals. 6 weeks later was the North American, and then 13 weeks later was the USA's out in California. So I dieted all that time. So when I came back from California, it was 2 days before Thanksgiving. So I really only had the month of December and January as an off season. I had about 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So I didn't really have a good break, a long enough break. And that was by choice because, I just wanted to keep on going. So my body is going to need a break after this because, I dieted and prepped for a very long time. And then I got right back on it again. So after these next 5 weeks are over, I'm going to take a break for a few months, calm things down a little bit and be refreshed. And then we'll start prepping again for some shows next year. I'll probably do two shows in 2026. I'm not sure which ones yet, but I'm usually good for at least 2 shows a year. Mm-hmm. And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I know. Dave and I will sit down together and we'll choose what shows that I'm going to do, and then we'll start plugging away at those.
Yeah, because see, in Virginia, there's shows like I think this next weekend's a Tampa Bay Pro. They do Masters. Chicago do Masters. Also, there's other shows that you want to do is open shows. There's opportunities, and like I say, there's more opportunities for y'all guys compared to the unless you're bikini. It's more opportunity for y'all guys in open as for the women in bodybuilding and in physique. And it's good dieting for that. John, you see me, I'm a big dude, and I don't know if I can do that. I mean, I one point, true story about myself. I was at 500 pounds because I was taking care of my mom for a long time because she was sick. When she passed, that means I had to take care of myself. And then I made some choices. I made some changes. I'm sitting at 405, dude. 405. That's probably, I like to do a little more, but right now I got issues with my knees. I can't get around like I used to. I try to do as much as I can, but to die that long and you were determined to get your pro card and didn't do all those hits and misses. And this is a question to ask. Especially as bodybuilders, y'all love food. It's part of your. Tell me, Jonathan. Tell with me. What was that thing that you wanted the most? That thing that you desired. That thing that, as I say, make you stranger, make you stronger.
I don't know if anybody's going to find this exciting, but believe it or not, I don't really crave that much anymore of food or anything. Even after the contest. I had a burger and fries last week. The next morning I had down at the hotel with Dave, we had breakfast together and I had some pancakes and eggs. To be honest, during prep, like the tail end of prep, that's when my mind starts to get a little crazy. And then you start saving recipes in your phone from Instagram and you start dreaming about things. But then as soon as you're able to eat it, you don't even want it. I'm very much a simpleton because I've been dieting for so many years that I know that if I eat something that's going to be heavy and dense, cheesy, greasy, what have you, my stomach isn't going to like it. So for the 2 minutes of enjoying it as it's going down to the pain that I'm going to suffer afterwards, I might as well not have it. So I don't really change much of my diet in the off season other than the portion size. Now, I'm not going to lie. I like sweets. I'm not going to tell you I don't have a muffin or a cookie in this, my wife actually makes protein muffins and cookies with our protein powder, and they're absolutely delicious. I use the Ninja Creamy with our protein powder, and I'll make ice cream, during my off seasons with my protein powder. I can even do that now with prep if I wanted to, but the problem with me is if it tastes too good, even though it's nothing wrong with it, depending on how I make it, I feel like I shouldn't be having it. So, but those are things I do that work for me. So I take my products. And my wife, who's very creative in the kitchen, will make us protein muffins and protein cookies. Even my clients buy my cookies from us, and they're really good, and they cure the craving, and yet you're not guilty for having something that's bad for you. So even when I travel and go to a party, a family function, I bring my food with me just because that's what I'm used to. So I kind of stay on the same plan all the time. I don't really veer off much. And if I do, it's going to be, a healthy cheat or a healthy snack, my stomach got very sensitive over the years. So if I throw something in there that it's not used to, I'm going to suffer for it. So it's not worth it.
Yeah, everybody has, especially when it comes to food, everybody has the things they like, the things that really makes them feel good. Food can be a comfort,
Oh
especially
yeah.
for anybody, you know.
I like everything. It's just I know what my limitations are.
That's what I'm saying. I need to work on that too. I know I have an addiction to a certain type of food. It's the Chinese buffet. It's a Chinese buffet place the next time over, and they have a nice bread, John. It looks so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm not going to say I don't like that stuff because I do. I just know
So
I have to think twice about it. Okay, John, am I going to go eat this? It's going to taste good for a few minutes, and then afterwards, my stomach is going to be like, "Oh hell no!" So then I say, "All right, let me have something that I can put together within reason that'll satisfy my brain." You know. So I don't know. I'm just one of the rare people that I have no problem eating the way that I do. It's just kind of second nature for me. And right now, while I'm on a mission, I'm just sticking to the plan. You know, at all times. You know.
your man on a mission. As the other guy says, I don't have a plan, John. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I don't know what if I get one. But that's good that you are determined and you're focused and you put everything in order. Most people, especially if you look at now how some young competitors, they want everything quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah.
They don't have the patience or the tolerance. This is about the sport. It's about taking time. And you took yourself a long time before you got here. There's some people after maybe, you saw one young lady, she did a few shows and then she wants to retire. You're still young. You're not even you're not at our age yet. We're Gen X. We had it hard. We had it rough. We know how to the keep fighting. But I think it's a lot about having patience and to understand what's involved in it. It's not as easy as everybody think it is.
No. And I took a lot of time off and I came back at a later age. Like I said, I always was training. I was always eating well. I was always in decent shape, but not bodybuilder competition shape, the level that I think I'm at now. But I just decided to not be selfish when I had little kids. I didn't want to take away from them because they're very important, at least to me and my wife. So I put everything on hold for a lot of years, and then when I felt the time was right to give it a try, I did, and and then here we are now. But yeah, I could have kept going. I was doing very well in my early 20s, and who knows what would have happened back then, but I would have been done by now. So now I'm actually gives me something else to do now, So I think I got a few more years left in me, 2 or 3 more years at this level, and I'm going to ride it out and do the best that I can over the next little bit of time, these next few years.
Yeah, I saw there was a couple of gentlemen. One gentleman 665, one gentleman 70 that got their pro cards. I think one of the 65-year-old was in men's physique, or I call it men's bikini.
Yeah.
And I've seen ladies. I just interviewed a while back. I love a lady named Rebecca Wood. Miss Wood she turned pro at 74 years old, and she's not competing anymore because she was dealing with some stuff. She last competed, or was it at the Masters Championship? And it's not so much about age; it's about determination. And if you're willing to make the sacrifice, but like I said again, your kids are grown; they have their lives, they have responsibilities. You have a grandbaby, but he just comes to visit for a while. Even though he comes, you say, "Hey, you can't have him. He's ours. You can't have him." That's how my mom with my 2 older nephews. And it's good you found this sport and you have passion for it. Like when you're training, what's the regimen like? What's that thing I love this, I love doing this, and the thing you say, shit, well, I gotta do it.
There isn't a body part, there isn't anything I don't like. I mean, there's days because I'm in prep that I'm tired and completely exhausted and don't want to lift weights. But once I get started, I'm good. So, I've just been lifting weights my whole life since I'm a kid. If I didn't have it, if I didn't do it, it would be a problem, So I look forward to almost every single workout. Like I said, there's days where you're tired, you're exhausted, you don't feel like doing it. But for the most part, it's a way of life for me. And I enjoy every workout I do. I feel better. It's just who I am, can't change who I am. I love everything about it, so there's not a day that goes by that I don't want to not do it,
Yeah. It's like Rocky Balboa. We tell Adrian in Rocky 3 says, I'm a fighter. That's what I know.
Yeah.
Everybody finds something about this sport they love and enjoy about it. This is a passion sport. Back in the day, you used to catch it on television. You used to catch it
Yeah.
on networks. Now it's showing cornhole and pillow fighting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sad that, but I think because it gets that stink eye because of the use of performance enhancers. But I've conversation said it's in every sport, but it's so easy to pick on bodybuilding. And even though it's kind of a small community, you would say in a way, but it has reached globally. I mean, I've interviewed ladies from Australia to South America to is Asia. I mean, it's just a sport that I think it's a niche sport, but it's really a sport because you have to train and work out and diet and do so much to get to that next level. Especially now, you got to start back kind of like the bottom as IFBB Pro because you want to climb up. So you want an opportunity to do Masters Olympia or the big show, the Big O.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'll do that. But I know my lane to stay in. I don't think I have any business being on stage with those guys that are in 20 years younger than me and look the way that they do. But I'm definitely going to do some pro shows, and I definitely have in mind, or I would like to qualify for the Masters Olympia someday. Like I said, I just turned pro. In a few weeks, I got my first pro show. Let's see how I do there as the newcomer, and then try and have a good solid 5-6 month off season, and then come back and maybe do the Tampa Pro next year, maybe do the Chicago Pro, maybe do both of them. But I will do 1 or 2 shows for sure in 2026, probably 2, just because to me I can't diet and just do 1. And then we'll see what happens. We'll take it from there. Right now I'm focused on the Masters Pro World, and see how that goes. I'm hoping to come in and cause a stir. I think I deserve to be there, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you want to come in, the big dog coming in and say, I'm coming in here. Come on, say, come on, take a peek, come on.
Yeah.
John in the room.
That's right.
But yeah, that's the thing is you have to have that confidence in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know when like I said again, know your lane. Yeah, know your lane. Also know that you are capable of whatever you feel like you're capable of.
Yeah.
And folks, if y'all interested again, if you want to follow John, you can check out the list description. Also check out his Fit Series 33 if you're interested in helping your way. If you're someone like myself who's dealing with weight and want to lose weight and find a healthier way or healthier products for you, reach out to him. But also, folks, be respectful to these people. This guy, he took some time off to sit here and talk with me, understand what he's going through, understand the sacrifice he's made both for himself and his family to get to this level. It's not as easy. We who go to these shows, we see these fit, muscular bodies on stage, but understand how they took them to get there. The dehydration, the starvation, tired some days, the days where they say, you know what, I don't want to do this, but they had to push themselves to do it. And if anybody's out there who's maybe interested in sponsoring his company or being part of it, hey, reach out to him with a genuine plan. Don't be that weird guy say, hey, John boy, I saw your videos and you got it impressive. No, stop that. And said, Mr. Fricchione, we are interested in your product. We like your story. Both you and your wife, you have a great history together. So if you feel like your product can work with us and we can, sell it out into the mainstream, we'd like to work with you. How would that sound, sir?
That'd be great. I think anybody that tries our products, from the feedback we've gotten so far, nobody will be disappointed. Our stuff is good. We didn't just take a stock product from a manufacturer and label it. We actually developed it. We made everything clean and natural. So to be honest, they're one of the most natural products there is. So it's definitely worth a try. Price point is better than anybody's, that's for sure. So I log on to fitseries33.com, use code WIN20. You save 20% right now for the whole month of right through our next show, right through August 31st. So you can't lose. You get a great product at a superior price. Won't be disappointed. That I can promise you.
Well, sir, there's no win for losing for you. You are on your way good luck to both you and your lovely wife. You
Thank you,
know,
sir.
and I had to say it again. I can't help it. He can't help himself. Says again, she is beautiful, and I think you're kind of handsome too, John. I don't swing that way, but you know.
I'm a lucky
So,
man. She definitely is beautiful. That's for sure.
yeah, you're lucky, man. You're lucky. You're lucky, man. You know, there a woman like that guy be saying, "I wish I had a woman like that." But if a woman was saying, "I wish they had you," I don't want. They're probably say, "Hey, where's Sharon? She's not here, John. You got me." So
We're a good fit together. You know,
that's good.
we go
That's
well
good.
together.
That's great. I mean, again, congratulations to your son on his marriage. I hope
Thank
he
you.
maybe gets some more grandbabies in the future,
Hey,
and
I'm sure we
also
will.
your
We'll have all-
daughter. Yeah, your daughter and also your other son. Congratulations on their future too, and good luck to both of you and Sharon. So, yeah, anybody want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Of course, my wife, always Sharon, IFBB Pro, #1. My coach, Dave, my buddy, my brother, forever. He's a great guy. And then Kenny Wallach. And so I'm blessed to have my wife, Dave, and Kenny in my corner. We all support each other. And let's try and get our first win together here at the Masters Pro.
Yeah, like I said, again, like a fighter, you know, Dave's like your Mickey. He says like this: when you're going hurt, you're going down. You hear that little angel in your and he's trying to say, "Get son of a bitch, Dave, love ya."
Yeah, he does push me. He is good. He's good support system.
That's great. That's great. And most definitely you need is support. It's support. So, folks, I appreciate people who here watch this video, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media platforms. Also, again, the links to John's social media is in the description of the live. Also, if you're interested in his Fit Series 33, reach out to him. Also, he says the code is WIN20, which is 20% off. That saves you a few bucks if you're a competitor. And also, he's a personal trainer. If someone interested who are in the area, or just maybe you do online training too.
No, not so much online. I have written some diets for people recently and done some minimal on that. But I mean, I would help somebody online if they wanted to. Just reach out, ask some questions. I'll do my best to answer them properly and guide you the best that I can. And most importantly, give that Fit Series 33 supplements a try. You won't be disappointed. I'm telling you. Awesome products.
Well, sir, you should be proud of yourself, of your family, your wife, your children, your grandchild, the future grandchildren, all you're doing. You know, this, I said again, this is a lot for anybody to do. The sacrifice you made, you know, a lot of people wouldn't understand what drives anybody to do the sport. And you know, a while back we had some losses in the sport. You know, young lady who was still young, she passed away, a young lady who done. And also, you know, people like, you know, Cedric Millen, also Sean Roden. But because this is a sport of anybody who's passionate enough. It's not about the money. It's about the passion.
Yeah, exactly.
You have that passion, that determination, that persistence. You know, understand, even like if your son's wedding, you couldn't eat the cake. You know, you had to, you know, you and Sharon had to eat, you know, what you bring, because, you know, that's the tough part about it. And also friendships have changed because sometimes you're doing something that's not typical to anybody else.
Yeah, I've learned that, but that's okay. Like I said, for me, to be honest with you, all that matters is my wife, my kids, and that's first and foremost. That's all I need in my life. Anything else is a plus, but that's all that I need.
Well, sir, again, congratulations on BI Pro. Congratulations to your wife on her upcoming pro show with both y'all together. Best of luck to you both, and I wish you generally all the best.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Well, the quote from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, at the end when Jim Gordon said to Batman, "I never got a chance to thank you." And Batman says, "You never have to." That's why, you know, I do. Even though my channel is about the ladies, but I'm also open to anybody who wants to share their story about bodybuilding. Yeah. So, folks, I said again, if you want to follow John, his social media links are in the description. If you're interested in his serious, formula, supplements, reach out. And also maybe, want to work with him on a plan. If you're someone who just not a bodybuilder, you just might want to lose a few pounds and get a little better shape. Yeah, reach out to genuine interest, folks. No weird stuff, no weird things. Stop it. Have respect. He has a lovely wife and some lovely kids. So, folks, I wish y'all a best week. Can you believe it? July is about over, and can we believe it? Almost. It just seemed like we just started 2025, and now it's just
more than halfway over already.
It used to be, you remember, it used to be like seeing a Christmas stick forever, and birthdays seem like they didn't come around enough. Now it seems like it's around the corner. I got one. I'm gonna be 51 in November. Well, but I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still going. But Thank you again, sir. Congratulations. And also thank you to your lovely wife taking time talking with us. So, folks, follow John on the social media links description in the live stream. Support his product and also support him in his upcoming show, both him and his lovely wife. This is Mail Away Church Page, aka the Emperor of Vitamin Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, and God bless.
Take care.
You too.